Okay, I'm finishing up my Santos series. Gonna have to run it a little bit long, I guess, because all the copyright shit and the ones that they're suppressing, I'm gonna have to redo. I'm gonna have to tighten up the pixels on all the computer stuff. So I want to get through everything on the tracing board and the moon board, and finish up some other shit that I was working on his series, and then get back to the computer, I guess, and try to hurry up and finish this. It won't take me long. It's just going to be a bunch of 20-minute videos, and as long as I don't get hit with copyright strikes, I should be done with it within the next week or so. The hard part's over. The research videos are already all up, and I just got to run through all the videos and the research videos and redo them. So what we're looking at here is, on the left is this photographs of the moon printed up on my computer, and the one on the left is a stranger to me. I don't know who it was, but I went ahead and downloaded it and printed it, and then same thing with this one. I want to mention something pretty funny about this as well while I'm on it, is that I downloaded a bunch of photographs of the moon from the internet, and they all disappeared. I don't know what happened to them all. One of them was this one here, which is that patent. This is the patent for all the imagery in the moon that I'm going to be bringing you in on. All the imagery in the moon's already been patented according to whoever did this artwork. You can find them on the internet, though. I forget what they call it. So it's not digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon like I'm doing. It's some kind of other. It's like the reverse of a photograph type of thing. It's electro. It is electro. It's electro something. I don't remember. My fucking brain's not on. I'm really pissed off about having to redo all this shit for YouTube. It really sucks. They're just fucking with me. They're just fucking with me hard. I don't know what else to do. I thought I was being slick about, choosing to do series to people like this, and I was going to get around all this shit, but looks like I'm not going to. Anyways, the moon on the right, let me turn this down. So the moon on the right is mine. I took this with my telescope. I'll do another video, and I'll make sure I throw in some facts about the telescope and how easy that is with the camera and everything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start turning these around. I'm just going to look at some of the imagery that's in them, and I want you to notice that they're identical. And then as soon as we're done with this, before this video ends, I'm already at 3 minutes and I haven't shown you anything. I might throw a filter on here and there. I might fuck with filters and lights and stuff like that. Like, here's a yellow filter. Let's see what it does for me. I'll give it a second to settle. Yeah, I'm going to go without the filter for a minute. We'll go without the filter for a minute. So anyways, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start down at the bottom here on both sides and watch the image as I start turning this, alright? So I'm going to turn them both at the same time, and I'm going to try to keep them somewhat together. And as you can see, I don't have them perfectly cut as well either, so I'm going to have to try to keep with them. In other words, this is here, this is here, so I'll try to keep them like this as I turn. Because as you can see, I've got this one, my cuts are off, definitely. But I'm going to show you that they match. As a matter of fact, I can do that right now. Watch. Hold on. Okay, so I've got these two moon photographs. I don't know if I mixed them up. One's mine and one's some other person's. And what we're going to do is do the best that I can, even in the mood that I am, to put these two together and keep them together like this. Then I'm going to put them up to the light. Okay. And then I'm going to fine tune it. See what I'm doing here? So I'm going to fine tune it to make sure I'm not going to, I've done this before where I tape it at the end. See, what I'll do is I'll pick like an eyeball and watch. See? Line it up. Then I'll do a turn. Find something over here. I'm going to choose these two eyeballs right here. See what I'm doing? And I'm going to come over to here. I'll just take another face. I'll take these two eyes. Throw them off. Put them back on. Okay. So you find it. And you get it all lined up just perfect. So, and you know, I'm looking at this now too, and looking at the way that I got the edges cut. I don't even have a perfect cut on this, and it still works. I can still line it up. The reason why I started doing this in the first place was to eliminate imagery that's in the paper and other carbon. Okay. Do it back and forth. And then once you get it perfect, I would start with the center and work my way out. You know, start with obviously with all the darker stuff. And then once you get it all perfect and each thing is all lined up on top of each other, so you'll see when you go off. You'll see. And it's just that easy. So the amazing part to me about doing this is, I'll put this back up here. The amazing part to me about doing this is the what do you call it? The fact that it's from two different places. So from two different places, and the imagery is all identical. You know, it's pretty amazing. Set this back up. Give me a minute to set this back up. Okay, so I'm back on the board again. So what I'll mention as I'm doing this is that every time you change the light around, you're gonna change things. Okay. Every time you move something, change something, play with things, play with colors, play with lights. It's a lot of fun. My cutting's sloppy. I can, if I wasn't running into one thing after another, I'd have time to tighten this stuff up. But if I reprint these, I can cut these out a little better than I did. And that would even be fun, but it's okay. Live and learn as I'm going along. Because when I just did and lined this all up and put it line for line, back to back, front to front, and you can see that the imagery, any of the imagery that matches up, you know, belongs to this moon. And you can verify and check that as you go along. So, you know, I'm not really that worried about the edges right now. But in order to track the moon and know what it's doing, I highly recommend we start tracking this outer edge of the moon every day and going by the imagery to know what the moon is doing and its time and schedule and all that. That's what I would do if I was running the fucking system. Anyways, I'm gonna start turning these and running them through a little bit. And I'm just going to keep an eye on both sides at the same time. I'm going to try to keep them together. I'm going to do small moves. I'll point out a few things as I go along. If I pull back out, I could probably give you this. So we're not seeing it here, but when we take it to the other tables, what I'll tell you is that this feminine right here, face, cone titties at this angle. She's got small titties at another angle, which are right here. Her shoulder, her arm comes back this way and grabs her tail. And she has a tail in one position, and maybe more than one position. And her waist comes down this way. It's, you know, and some of them you can see better than others. I also have ink issues going on around here because I don't have any money, so if it's low on ink, then you get what you get. It's good enough. I mean, it's confirmable that the imagery is identical. Reverse, forward, it doesn't really matter. The imagery is going to be just a reverse image, and doing them on the clear plastic and printing them on the clear plastic has also told me a whole bunch of other things that I now know. But you know, look at it line for line, and when you do, like, see these two little lines that are coming up here from here, see them here, see these little, you know, you can look at it line for line for line. So even if I lost a little bit because of a loss of ink or something that happened here, because that's what looks like happened here too. I don't think I'm as short on the cut as you might think, or on the angle or anything, because this blob right here, which is actually a face to a body that goes down that way. I'll show it to you later. Oh no, it comes, yeah, it comes this way. See this face right here? This face, there's another feminine body that goes this way. I'll try to get her in for you. But anyways, this one, as we turn, we're going to watch her and watch her positions, and we'll see her flowing hair and everything once we start turning. And then it's going to be distracting, and it's hard to, hold on a minute. I keep getting interrupted, so. Alright, so let's run through this before I get interrupted again. So I'm just going to keep turning them, try to keep these fairly even in the camera. What I'll do is, when I get some new ink, oh, that's what I was saying earlier, these all disappeared on me, so I'll have to look for them again. I downloaded these offline, or somebody else's, and then all of a sudden they disappeared from my computer along with some other ones. Pretty weird. But you know, we're looking for, like, look for the detail from one side to the other. You know, so like this line right here, this stripe right here, I know it well. You see it on both waists. Now, I go in here, this is image within image within image within image, just like everywhere else. So these are all images in here. Because this one's black and this one's more orangey red, things also appear a little different. So like, for example, this eye, and this snout, they show up a little bit better and more detailed on this side than on this side right now. But it's all there. If you look, you know, the eye and what's represented. I'll notice other things that I notice, like in my opinion, the feminine features on this one, on this side, on a forward telescope, a standard telescope, just seem more attractive to me for some reason than the ones on this side. I don't know why that is. There's certain things I haven't figured out yet, you know. And meanwhile, while we're turning and while we're looking at her, remember it's image within image within image, so watch out for any other change-ups. And look, and if something doesn't look right to you, then look for specific lines. So like, for example, because of my cut being off and things like that, you'll notice that like this one right here and this one right here, so they might at first appearance not appear to be the same. They are, though. Go in and look at them. And you can also, I've got both of them side by side, but you can certainly do this on your own, and you take the camera and it's a lot easier. You can zoom in and out. and move them around. I'm just trying to show everybody something here. Lifting up, coming back down, bringing it closer to the camera, that kind of thing. Do a little more of a turn. I could be throwing filters on right now as well and messing around with filters and stuff. The angle for her to look more feminine to me comes from a totally different area. I'd have to be on the other side, facing up like this way. On this one, I'd be aiming that way, and on this one, I'd be aiming that way. And what happens is she's more in a more feminine pose, I think, is what I want to say. See how her arms are back and her boobies are out. I don't know what the cone titties and stuff like that, but I know she's got the smaller set of titties right here. She's got these little titties right here that these don't show up on another angle, and she's just got these little ones. But look at the line for line on her, right? On her stomach and waist and everything like that. This is how you realize that the person that you're downloading images from is not fucking around and giving you bullshit stories, because you just take your time and do this, and it'll match up image for image for image all the way around. So I'm trying to keep them somewhat even. So again, I'll start pointing out. See, the one on the left seems like it's gonna already start being more attractive in the face, the facial features. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's in red. Maybe because the ink's not as thick on it. I don't know. I just happen to notice it. So she's going to start pulling in her hair. You'll be able to start pulling in her hair soon. And she has this flowing hair going on. And meanwhile, you're going to have to learn how to separate imagery, because all this stuff in the back's all going to start coming in now. So you're going to start seeing this, but go ahead and look at the opposite side. It's the same imagery. So it's okay to, see it, but right now I'm trying to concentrate just on her and all the images that make up her body, because that's also image within image within image. And I can go in deep on all that as well. Okay, let's turn a little more. So I'm doing large turns, and I'm turning rather fast. If you're doing this on your own, you'll be going much slower. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do like bang out like 3 or 4 of these videos on this board, and on 1 or 2 of them or something, I'll just take them back and forth and put the whole thing in frame and move them around and have some fun with it that way. Try to keep them somewhat even. Again, if you think that something doesn't look right, looking a little better, it's just maybe a little bit of ink missing from my printer or something like that, so it's not as dark, but the cuts are there, the lines are there. Just look around for them. So, like for example, it's actually nice doing it the different colors. So, like take this large image for example. Take this large one that takes up the whole moon right here, and your eyes may not catch it right away, but it's there. See on this side, it's there. Just look around for a minute. When she comes back around, because this is going to end up being a long video because I'm so slow, you can hear it in my voice, I'm so fucking... I'm trying to keep these lines together too. Can't really see the one on the right that good because of the camera is in the way. Yeah, I don't think the filter's gonna help me that much today. So just keep an eye, as this is coming through. All these are getting closer. So she's very feminine too. I've traced her out before too. She's coming in now with the low hangers. See I don't want to confuse you because I've already showed you all these faces that are in here. Thousands of faces, image within image everywhere. But she's got this breast here and that breast there. This is her belly. Her arms come down here. Shoulder, her other arm's right here. And then she's got these big ass legs of this big feminine image. And at the same time, that's going to turn into the barrel chest guy in a minute. And then on top of that, just face within face within face within face. So you might pull the face out of this side first, of this large face. Okay, so you got an eye, a snout, and then on top of that, again, image within image within image. Look around in there. And same thing goes for all these images as well. If I was coming this way with the camera, we'd be seeing all different imagery. But you'll recognize it, you'll remember it. Even when it's in an upside down position, you'll remember these. I'll show you in a minute, in the next video. Because this one's already at 29 minutes, so I'm going to end it in a minute. the Sea of Tranquility when we're coming up to it. I'll be able to show you all that in there as well. Hopefully you're grabbing some of these big images, like the big guy with the sideburns and stuff will start coming in a little bit. Looks like I got this a little uneven. No? Oh, a little bit. It's a little off. A little. And I'm going to keep turning like this even through the Sea of Tranquility too. Oops.